Episode 287.
All right, everyone, shut the fuck up.
Wheel of Time. Reread podcast. Explicit and R freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast.
Listen to tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time reread podcast. Now covering Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, Book 3, The Dragon Reborn. I'm Jono, and with me as always is Joe.
Hey, Jono. Hey.
Hey, Joe.
Hi.
You know what? I'm going to say it. Tom is always with me too, even in spirit, but he's here in person.
That's not true. Study your mouth. Study what it means to be there in person.
Hey, Tom.
You're a person and you're in
That's
me.
true. You do need to study what it means to be in person.
You said hey, and I just held up my drink and winked.
Yeah.
So that's good audio.
Well, it's good for the viewers.
We've really come a long way in our ability to understand how to do a fucking podcast 287 episodes in. So good for us.
Good work.
We need one episode to go by where Jono doesn't malign our ability to do a podcast.
Well, we need one episode. Don't clueless show our ass doing a podcast.
In the first 30 seconds.
I like to show my ass. Sometimes I'm wearing my small clothes, but sometimes I'm not.
And this is a great episode for small clothes because we have Matt Coffin padding around.
That's why I brought it up, Jono. That's why I brought it up, bro.
Small clothes is topical. Also topical, small talk. Unless, of course, one of us forgets to have one of those. And guess what? I didn't make any fucking topic for small talk.
Small clothes are topical because you rub them on your skin.
I don't have small talk. It's May the 4th. It's Star Wars Day.
And
Star Wars Day.
It's a little annoying. It's a little too much. It's just like
Star Wars, the movie franchise, famously ripped off from Harry Potter.
Yeah, it is famously ripped off. I mean, he's a boy who lived, and he fights the Dark One.
Yeah, and him and Ron both like Hermione, and it turns out Hermione's his sister. Whatever.
Yeah,
Voldemort is his father. It's exhausting.
Yeah, that's all the same. He goes to magic school with one old man who dies later on.
Come on, and then comes back. Comes back as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
One of the actors dies early. It's kind of lazy writing in that one, but
The Bad Batch
so it rips off the movies. It rips. Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
So,
I knew there was a trailer. Like, I knew it was coming out. I just
The first episode's like almost an hour and a half. Hour and 15.
Yes, it looks
first episode of what?
fucking good. Like, when they announced that show, I was like, But
It's pretty good.
I mean, I wasn't like against it. I was just like, I wasn't in love with those characters from the Clone Wars series.
Yeah,
I was like,
me neither.
Okay, I guess it'll be fun. And then when I saw that trailer, I was like, God damn, this looks good as shit.
Yeah, so
Talking
far
about
so
Star
good.
Wars, Jono.
Yeah, you know Star Wars.
I'm finally watching Rebels with Lauren.
God, that show's so fucking good. Wait till they get like into
I'm
it.
only we're into second season. We're pretty far in second season.
You've seen Vader show up and stuff.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's really fucking cool on that show. I have to say, they do a really good job of showing like how awesome he's going to be. That being said, also Obi-Wan Kenobi show is going to have Hayden Christensen in it as Darth Vader.
Yeah, they said that a while ago, didn't they?
That's going to be interesting. Yeah,
I guess they just said
news.
I guess they just said he was going to be in it. Wait, as Darth Vader,
but now
how?
he's so the excellent question. Well,
In the costume, he's not going to do the voice.
Well, I don't know.
I could
about
be
the
Darth
voice.
Vader. Put me in stilts in a costume.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he takes his helmet off a lot. I don't fucking know. I just know it's going to be Hayden Christensen. Yeah, you're right. If it's not James Earl Jones doing the voice, how would they even do it? Can they synthesize that now? Do they need him in perpetuity? Like,
They've probably done like the treatment where like he has said like every syllable possible.
Yes, yeah.
As a recorder. So like then just kind of.
They're like, we need you to go back through some of these syllables. We made up some words. They're alien words for a new series we're doing. We need you back to record some more
$5 million
syllables.
to read the dictionary and sign away the rights.
Mm-hmm.
His estate will make money off of that from now to the end of time.
Does he do it for the Rebel show?
Probably.
I don't know.
What else is he
How you
doing?
look up like who all his
They
voice.
just fake it now, don't they? They just fake it, right?
I don't know. I think he
It's
does.
still Rick
I think he does
Moranis from Balls.
He's like his voice.
That's when James Earl Jones dies to switch to Darth Helmet.
Let's have Rick Moranis do it. He's a good sub in for James Earl Jones. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, sorry, we got off on a little Star Wars tangent. Did you see the fucking real
Star Wars Day
lightsabers they have?
What, Joe?
They have like real lightsabers. I mean, not
lightsaber?
real, not like real. No,
Right,
but it like extends out and looks fucking legit.
Is it a laser that I can cut something with?
is
Because if
that
it's
real?
not, I don't care.
No, it's still like a
Plastic.
fake thing. Yeah,
No,
I just don't know how it extends from the hilt and how it looks so real. I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
Give me a laser. Get out of
It's for the theme parks apparently, but I think they're gonna actually like sell them at some point. But obviously it's for like the people walking around in the theme parks being like, look at this, bang, and it's like looks real as fuck, and you're like, holy shit. And that's why they
sell them to other
developed
people. MSPT, $2 million.
Yeah, it's gonna be oh god, I have no idea. I'm sure it'll be thousands of dollars to get one of those. When the technology exists to actually own a lightsaber, that's gonna be
technology.
I mean, I feel like this is the first step.
Don't be an early adopter of the lightsaber when it comes out. Wait a few years, get it for $50.
I don't know. I feel like being an early adopter is just smart at that point because
If you're not an early adopter, you're dead.
exactly. They have that like famous chart of like the business early adopter, and then like everything else is just like a dead end. It's like,
You're gonna be dead.
Homes and businesses all over the Atlanta area were broken into via lightsaber.
Just cut right through the door, and then my arm.
And then the vault. And then all the guards.
Bullets did not work. Ends up they deflected. Who would have guessed?
Those 10 rich guys took over the world.
Get that shit up. Paid really early for that. The loan out.
Fucking lightsabers. God damn. Anyway.
So this is our episode covering part 8 of the Dragon Reborn, chapters 32 through 35. Tom,
yes.
some fucking reason. Because you get carried away. Chapter 32, the first ship.
It wasn't sinking, so they did get on the first ship.
Oh, there you go. I put Matt and Tom get on a ship using a magic letter. The captain is a genocidal nationalist. Bilal's secret identity and tears of fish. Did we talk about that before?
What? No. Go on. Go on. We'll discuss.
Matt kills more people. Rand's going crazy.
That's a wonderful point. First off, I'm surprised you walked over the fact that, or glanced over, South Harbor is huge and round, which really is offensive to our friend Harriet McDougal.
And created by the ogre. They just pounded that out till it was huge and round.
Yeah.
It's a huge Ogier basin.
Just gonna keep pounding away.
They all
I feel
have
like
20
the
pounds.
South Harbor.
I
I feel like South Harbor is the asshole. The ogre just went to town on it.
And those are some, if they're even proportionate, like those are some thick dudes. I guess that feels bad.
I told you, 20-pound tips. Our viewers know. I wrote, how fast is that boat going? I'm already cutting to the boat that catches up to them and then the assassins come on board. How fast is that fucking boat going? And is this the closest to Wheel of Time Fast and Furious we ever get? Like a boat is slowly moving down river and then another boat slowly chases it. And then eventually in the middle of the night, it catches up.
It probably looks briefly like that part in Monty Python where they're all just running at the door over and over. Just someone like furiously paddling. Slowly.
Nice choice of words.
Yeah, furiously paddling right on the ass. I also wonder,
fast and furiously paddling.
Thank you.
And then I wrote, is the captain's men The Rock and John Cena? Because that's what I was thinking.
They're both large.
Yeah.
Do you think the harbor master got fired? Because all he did was see a letter and then just let two dudes run away.
It's an actual letter. I think he's knowledgeable. And I mean, he runs the whole harbor of Tar Valon on the south side.
I still
I think he's knowledgeable enough to recognize a forged or fake seal from the Amuralin. Like,
I'm still baffled that nobody thinks this could just be counterfeit.
That's exactly what I'm
like. I don't understand how this works.
But then he was like, "But this looks real." Yeah.
But this looks real. How does it look real? Why can't I just make one?
Seals all the time.
Also, the bearer of this letter. Yeah. What? Come on.
The bearer of this letter?
No, the bearer. But like, it's just like the bearer of this letter is blah blah blah, and like immune or whatever. I like all doing shit under my guidance, and it's on my orders. Like, let him go, kind of thing. And you're just like, you don't even say she or he. You just like super open end that letter.
Blank check, bitch.
Yeah, basically, it's crazy.
Yeah, Richie Rich. I also find it interesting, and I'm happy for him, obviously. But Tom Merrill, Matt's point of view makes it think that he barely jumped on in time. He turns around and Tom Maryland made it just as well.
Tom was hanging off the side of the ship, had to climb up over the railing and then drop down onto the ship. So he did not make it just as well.
Again,
barely
how slow though are they going? Where just seems. He left
10 years ago, Tom said something along the lines of like, this is the equivalent of like being on a road trip and running through a red light when someone's following you. Because he doesn't even look back to see if Tom's following. He just goes like, let's go, Tom. And he just starts racing for the boat.
That's better than anything I have for tonight.
It was very funny. I was laughing. Anyway.
Shit.
So our captain, like Tom said, is in fact a lovely genocidal Terran madman who is
aside from that part though, the way Matt is getting information at him subtly without like revealing and just like answering in grunts and like one word answers, and then the guy keeps talking and he gets more spun up and keeps talking more, and Tom is just immediately going along with it. I was kind of like, I like their synergy already. Like they already kind of like, oh, you know what you're doing and I know what you're doing and you know that I know what you're doing, kind of thing. Like they just immediately fall into this, like, let's get all this information.
We've never seen Tom or Matt get on a ship without jumping onto it so far.
It's true. That's very true. Yeah. Is there any other way? There's no.
And 3 chapters from now, we see somebody else jump onto a boat.
They're always in a very big hurry, Tom. They don't have time to. They can't just like walk up a gangplank and then get on board a vessel normally. It's bizarre.
You think that Harriet came to Robert Jordan was just like, this could use some action? He's like, what if they jump on the boat? Yeah. And then 3 chapters later, she's like, this is a little late on the action. She's like, what if she jumps onto the boat?
Which boats are slow as fuck. I mean, realistically, they just go the speed of the river, and these are wide rivers, so not moving quickly. And they have a schedule, so like just get there on time. Like you don't need to jump on unless you just feel like need to jump. But they're really not that type of like not that inconsistent that you need to just be sprinting down the causeway here. Come on,
yeah.
I once jumped onto a Navy boat in Savannah on St. Patrick's Day and was carried off by service members.
What would have... Let's dive into that story.
There's no need. I mean, that was the story.
What would have happened if they didn't get on that boat and didn't jump for it, obviously, like idiots, but say that boat had been like, fuck, we can't get that one. Let's get this next one. Would it have been the one that was going to chase them down the river?
Well, the one that chases them is a rowboat. Like it's or not a rowboat, but like a kind of like much smaller.
Are you saying
they
robots?
Send like a boat off of the main boat, I think. There's no way a fucking little rowboat caught up to that river vessel.
Well, it's like a long boat. It's a long boat that's like, kind of like 6 banks of oars versus a full-on river ship, which has sails.
What if Matt was so determined
to catch up to that ship
to get on the next boat, no matter what, that he ran, missed, fell in the water, climbed back out. Then there was another one leaving, but it was also not close enough. He ran, missed that, fell in the water, came back out. And it just happened over and over again.
And he just got, damn it. I missed one again.
He's like, why don't we wait for one that's not moving? He said, I said the next one.
Keep saying the next ship. The next ship leaving.
He's getting heavier because he's just sodden wet. Damn it.
I'm running slower. My jumps are getting shorter. The ships are getting faster.
My boots are just filled with water.
So the letter's no longer legible anymore, so like he can't even leave.
Do you think there was like a weird camera pan down into the boat chasing them where like it showed the guy's arms speed up because they took like methamphetamines or something, and then the oars started going fast, and then like it started rocketing through the water with like a big wake behind it?
Were they just ready for him to get on the boat? And then did they think a rowboat could?
Were they chasing him the entire time? Were they that close behind him? That's what I'm asking. Like,
maybe they were like just very close by, and they're like, "Well, just get a rowboat quick."
Yeah, they were like what Matt didn't see, because he didn't even look back to see Tom. What Matt didn't see is that they were all running down after him. They all just jumped into the water. One of those guys would have been like, "Rowboat? That's not going to be fast enough. It's a ship."
They get 30 minutes to man the oars. That's all you need, and then only 4.
That's when they hit that turbo boost button, Tom, and then they go faster. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, the NOS.
They would have killed Matt if they weren't exhausted and having paddled the entire fucking way.
What does rowboat NOS look like?
That's what I'm saying. Their muscles just crank up big, like Bane style, and then they just start rowing like crazy, and then they catch up to the boat.
All right, let's get back on topic. Let's talk about High Lord.
I'm so intrigued by this, though.
High Lord Salmon, Tom. Tell us what you think about this large fish.
Oh, High Lord Salmon. I Saruman.
I never thought about it before until I was just writing the notes, and I was like, wait a minute. He's in tier, and his secret identity is High Lord Salmon.
It doesn't make sense. You would think that salmon would have been further north, right?
I want to be High Lord Fish. Do you think one person was like, that's too on the nose?
That's a little bit
Salmon? All right, but drop the L.
Like Ishmael was like, come on, Bilal. Like a little, like
don't
make it a little.
Yourself.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm the net weaver, and my name is High Lord Salmon. Jesus Christ.
Fucking ridiculous.
No, what I thought was interesting about this ship captain, he curses by saying something like the stone or something like, he curses by using the stone as a thing to like, I don't know. But he doesn't. So is there two types of people in tier? The ones that use fish guts and other kind of fishing analogies for curses, and then the other type of people that use by the stone, or they use the stone of tier as a sort of curse.
That's probably a man's curse.
Why is this captain of a ship not using the fish gut ones?
Maybe Tom's got a point. Maybe by the stone means he's only got one testicle. So he's only got the stones. And as opposed, so Swan grew up in the mall.
And it always comes up dark one's eyes. I know what you're talking about.
Looks like I win or lose, depending on
basically, the women always reference pussy and the men always reference balls.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly where I was going. Which is
break it down for Joe.
Yeah.
Fortune prick me, if you know what I mean.
Speaking
actually,
of
so in between the water and the stone is the mall. That's where shit just gets messy.
It's called the post. So, by the way, Tom Maryland sleeps like a hungover Joe. Throws his pillow over his head. Like
That's what I took from that too.
Yeah, just Jordan.
Classic Joe in a hotel room while Jono's trying to sleep.
Just throw the pillow over your head. It's time to wake up.
Buried in blankets.
No.
You also do that sometimes during the day while we're trying to do things and be active. Like 2:30 in the afternoon.
By then,
hey, we're doing stuff. And you're like,
there's a lot of light coming in at that point.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Joe in a hotel room is a erotic experience until the next morning when it's now fucking weird and just going to keep sleeping.
In my defense, I have never tried to turn off a lamp with a remote control by smashing the light bulb or whipped an ice bucket at someone's head.
Those are two top
yelling, get out of this room.
Well, get out of the room. I don't know who you are. It's late at night.
Guys, we have 10 years of convention insanity under our belts. Every once in a while, it peaks out.
When it's time for me to go to sleep, I'm ready to go to sleep.
I think I own the record for passing out the earliest at Dragon Con at like 9:30.
That's true.
Yeah, so
shocking. Yeah.
All right.
Matt kills 3 people in one night. He's very concerned about it. And clearly he has no memory of murdering people with a dagger in Falma.
That's a valid point.
He's like, I just murdered 3 people in one night. I'm like, God, I've never hurt anybody in my entire life. And I'm like, oh, yes, you have.
How many people do we know he killed there? Like 1, maybe?
At least one.
At least one. It scared the fuck out of everyone.
He does get over it real fast.
We saw him kill one, and then later on we see, and Perrin goes with him, and then later on we see Perrin, and he's like, just wide-eyed and blown away, and you're like, what did he see in the next room? Because the camera stays on Rand versus High Lord Dinosaur Hunter, you know?
Yeah, Lord Dino. That's definitely a very good point. That
Lord Dino.
Desiccated, dying corpse looked like just
fucking amazing.
Just gross.
I expected that thing to keep going like Akira.
He obviously has no credit. He has no memory of it. So to his knowledge, seriously, it's just blood. Holy shit!
I do find it haunting the way that, like, as he's killing that guy, the first one, well, technically the second one for him tonight, like his dad's words ring in his head, like, that's a killing blow, man. Only do it when you need to. And his response is not just to do it once, but then to slam a guy in the throat right afterwards. That's, I know. Thanks, Dad. Have a good night. And kills a couple more. And then maybe kills another dude by just slamming the staff over his head and it splits like a melon.
That guy was super dead, man.
He takes to it pretty easily, quickly. Like, I killed a guy. That was kind of weird. And then it just faster and faster gets better and better at it. Given that and his prankster nature in the Two Rivers, could he have been a serial killer there?
Yes.
Like a hilarious prank would have been to kill one person, or he just does a prank, accidentally kills somebody. And he's pretty funny.
We don't know what he was doing with the badgers in the bag that he didn't release on the green, but like, I'm assuming there was some cut up animal body parts, serial killer style.
Animals. I love
in
that.
the Westwood.
I think it was definitely either Taviran Save the World or serial killer. Those were his own. Those were his 2 best.
Those are the patterns options.
But the hilarious serial killer.
All right, let's go with Saves the World, I guess, in this one.
I have one again. Clown.
That's all his Portal Stone viewings of the flickers. It was just him being a serial killer, just over and over again. Holy
I really like killing people.
I am really dark. I need to change my life, rethink things. Let's start gambling, drinking, and assassinating people left and right.
Hey, and that's pretty much what he does for this chapter, and then we switch over to the Rand POV.
I mean, for the ladies, he is in his underwear, like we were saying earlier. I mean,
I'm sorry, I skipped right over that.
I do like real quick before we get to Rand. I love how Tom like looks over the boat and he goes, "What do you say, Matt? Should we kill the other 2?" Well, we're at it. They're like, "Oh shit!" Just like what a weird. Let me put on my stage voice to scare these fuckers off the side of the boat. Fucking hilarious.
And what are the consequences if he hadn't?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just stay there in the rowboat, like.
It's not like it would have been hard to like not let them on the boat at that point, right?
Leave them there.
Like just cut the line and then they're gone.
Show your rowboat.
It is funny that they jump out of the boat and swim, and I'm like, they're not making it to shore, right? Like, there's no way.
Do you think Tom Maryland puts that in his murder stats, or is that something that they kind of split equally?
Oh, he long since stopped keeping track of that.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's like serious with knives hidden all over his body. He could be keeping track by scarring his arm.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was literally gonna be like, this is just for Tom and anyone else who deep cut knows DC comics, but Victor Zsasz cuts hash marks into his body every time he murders somebody. And I'm like, Tom ran out of skin for that a long time ago. He's just covered in body
he actually
counts.
Purposely got fat so this way, and then lost that weight.
Like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, I've got extra skin on my arm now. I can add another 3.
It's all knobbly need, and yet there's scars on him. You're goddamn right.
I've murdered a lot of motherfuckers. One of them being the King of Carrion.
So, Rand's point of view, literally him playing the flute.
Skin flute, Jono. What the fuck?
Thank you.
I have to point that out for you?
Yeah.
What do you think? Well, I mean, and on a serious note, though, like, what do you we haven't really discussed Rand because he's not in this book a lot, but like we have the ability to discuss Rand. So like now that we're doing this book in a little bit more length of time, like, do you think he's like hiding is he like physically in the world of dreams? Like, why is that a thing? I just like, we haven't really talked about like how he's defending himself along the way. We know he's exhausted and delirious, but we know people are constantly attacking him in the world of dreams. Like, is he in there physically, or like, is he like entering the world of dreams physically every night? Because he's not a dreamer.
I don't think he can, because the only way to enter physically is to, through like a traveling kind of thing, right?
So why is he in Tel'Rariot?
I think he is.
Maybe
I think he is in and out and traveling that way, just because later Moraine just says like no matter how hard they're trying, they can't even manage to get any ground on it.
That's
if she didn't know better, she would think he rediscovered traveling. So I think he's doing it by accident.
So maybe he's like going in there physically and like kind of zipping forward and like coming back out or something like that.
Something along those lines. It seems to be implying that. I don't think they ever.
Well, the things that don't line up for me is like later, why is he there at all? We know powerful people can like enter the world of dreams by accident, and he doesn't really know what he's doing, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I personally, I think Tom's theory makes imminent sense to a certain. I just feel like. And this is one of those things that, it's book 3. I don't think that he intended that to happen yet. I don't think that I think it's just kind of like a weird, I want Rand in the world of dreams kind of thing. And it's just not really clarified as to how or why, which I know is kind of a shitty thing to say. Because most of the time, a lot of this is all makes sense.
I don't know, man. I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. There's a lot of stuff in the early books that does that, maybe it's just not thought out all the way, or...
Yeah, I think Moraine's comment proves my point, and I'm going to disagree with both of you.
I mean, I certainly think that does add weight to what I'm kind of like getting at and what you're sort of agreeing with. But like, I'm not, I don't know. It's just a little weird. It's like a little part of the book that I'm just kind of going like, I wonder what was going on here. If there was a master plan, like maybe he changed it later. Is it kind of just like a holdover from the first books when like every time he was asleep, he was dreaming about Ishmael and shit?
Yeah, that's my assumption.
Ishmael was like pulling him into the world of dreams or something, or a dream shard or whatever the fuck was going on.
That's my assumption. It doesn't make sense really because he's not in dream shards anymore.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the development of it, and almost probably why he kind of, changes a little bit. But and again, like, that's my assumption. I mean, there could be people who know better, and I just, haven't read that one yet. But
if he was making his own dream shards, they would be able to send assassins in to get him, right? But you know what? Actually, what about? Is anyone doing this to him, or is it nightmares? You know how like a queen fights nightmares later? Like, what if is it his own nightmares, his own fears and worries about like the people he knows and loves trying to kill him?
Maybe it's Lanfear helping him get to Tyr.
Maybe.
We're taking this kind of throwaway thing a little too far.
Well, no, I mean, because that's what I'm saying. Well, this is a thing to actually discuss. This is something that I actually want to like talk about. But there's really it's just theorization at this point.
Yeah, a lot of things like this that happen, I think. We can try to take all the rules from the books that we know and try to
like apply it backwards.
And in reality,
that's what I was trying to do.
I think it's just Jordan vaguely kind of understanding what he's going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably learning
it out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's some people who are more knowledgeable than we are. Who are just like, you jump box. This is what happened.
I think he comes. He comes up with stuff later too that to like.
Retroactively explain shit.
Yeah, retcon it.
Yeah, and make it make sense. Like, no, what was the explanation for why this is happening?
I mean,
what about this?
Did the dream shard word even come up until Sam? No, I feel like it did.
I don't know if it happened every single book, but at least early on in the beginning, like every time you read one of the books, all of a sudden there was like the new thing. that nobody had ever talked about before, and all of a sudden everybody was talking about it. It was the only thing that was going on. It was almost Legend of Zelda, when it was just like, you went to a new dungeon, now you have a bow and arrow. It turns out you need that for everything.
Yeah. Now you've got the hook shot.
You ever heard of Balefire before? Just made it up.
For everything.
Need it for everything.
All right, so sorry, I got us on a minor
it's a very valid point.
It's just something I was like, we've never talked about this. Let's talk about this a little more in
It's a
depth
valid
here.
point. It also kind of like there's another piece that kind of goes similarly with it, right? That every single thing that when we get to Perrin's point of view here in a moment, that like, you know, every 5 towns Rand goes through, like weddings, everyone's fucking, it burns, everyone's poor, everyone's it just really kind of in this book, like that was, you know, to Tom's point, like that was the hook shot of the book. And you know, it just happens. And you know, I had read somewhere that like, you know, he expected this to be kind of a smaller series than it ended up being. Whoops. And so kind of almost pushing him to be more, you know, Taviran, more almost quasi insane, that kind of thing. Which we're going to find out with him in a couple chapters, not in this section, of, you know, murdering a bitch and kind of looking a little crazy. Like that, it was kind of all pushed to make him extra, you know, already going down the pathway, and then he had to kind of arrest that momentum, and he used arrest that momentum.
I don't even think he's power crazy here. I think he's not sleeping and hasn't for
it almost seems like he's just not later on asleep ever.
Yeah.
Or when he's sleeping, he's not getting any rest because he's in the Tel'aran'rhiod.
I said in the recap he's going crazy, but I don't think that's what's up.
Okay. All right. Chapter 33, Within the Weave. It's a Perrin chapter.
Yeah, put a traveling montage to Remen with Perrin and the gang.
It's ramen.
They go to Big Bowl of Noodles. We question everything we think we know about Gaul. There's some hunters for the horn, and Perrin makes eye contact with Thale.
Some really good eye contact. Some high cheekbone, big nose eye contact.
So, I mean, as a reader, it's really interesting kind of to notice the Darkhound mark and the scent for it. But, you know, doesn't really affect anything for a while.
Well, they found a mauled horse or something, right?
It affects my opinion of Perrin because he's traveling with Aes Sedai and he's best friends with the Dragon Reborn, and he never thinks to like tell the warder like, there's a dog print on that rock. Like, that's weird. Point out weird things.
You don't think really at this point in time, even later on, he like has those viewings from Min in the back of his mind, and he like pointedly doesn't tell Moiraine about it. Like he's like, well, I'm not going to tell her. I don't even want her to know that she had a viewing about me. And just like any information you give her at all will help her either protect you or get you past it or like assist you in some way.
Like if he'd never seen Shadowspawn before, and like he looked up and he'd be like, man, that bat looks like a man. Well, I'm not going to tell Moiraine about that.
I do know, like a few like chapters ago when they were in some random town and he like immediately started asking about Rand, and Moiraine was like, what the fuck? Shut up. You know, like, and he just wouldn't shut up. It's like he doesn't learn from that. Like he hasn't changed even from that moment. It was like 6 chapters ago. Like, can you come on, man?
Well, I mean, I remember book 1, right? Like they had that and you're like, I don't even like their first dream in Baerlon. They're like, well, we should talk about this. The Aes Sedai does not need to know. And then they find out the Aes Sedai does need to know. And like you said, it's kind of this like, if you see weird shit, tell me, right? It doesn't have to be all related. Does not have to.
Say something.
Yeah, thank you. Really would be bad on the War on Terror.
Do you see a Gwyn in your dreams with a weird hopper? Do you have a weird hopper, a Gwyn dream? Maybe let me know. I might be able to help you out with that.
Yeah. Again, tells no one. And again, I guess that's kind of part of the point of, you know, they're late teen, 20 kind of year old. They don't want to talk about shit. And realistically, as soon as they start spilling their secrets, things get a little more like, oh, well, that's easy. I know what the hell is happening here. So it makes that dramatic irony for the reader. But at the same time, it's like, I do hope it's something that they do take care of in the series, right?
I want them to truncate the we don't talk to each other thing by a lot.
It's a lot.
That would be a welcome change. Yeah. Because it's already difficult in series like this. I mean, aside from Sanderson's Stormlight Archive, where he figures a way around everything by making like drawing fax machines and shit like that. So everyone can talk to each other. It's like the only fantasy series where like everyone can talk to each other basically anytime they want to. But in this series, they can do that sort of, and they just never like the swirling color thing, and they know where Perrin and Rand are, or Matt and Perrin, or whatever.
Don't think about them.
Like, it's just like, I get that out of my brain. And you're like, why don't you use that, you idiots? Then you know.
Piece of shit.
Like, anyway, it's just like so many things in this series. I'm just like, come on, just say words to somebody like one time. Anyway.
So they enter the town of Ramen. Oh, Tom, you were still doing your,
No,
that was the whole thing.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't get interrupted. I don't let you guys interrupt me on that. I finish it and then we talk.
They enter town. They see Gaul in a cage. He has Aielman in a cage in his brain for men.
Land sits there and gives them zero information about this. Like, talk about being a kid scout. It's just like they've had a couple days, and like when they first get into town, like everything should be good, and then all of a sudden there's an ailment in a cage. People are wearing finery. Like, it's like, is this ominous? Is this happy? What the hell is happening? And the whole time,
it goes for them. It goes for them too. I mean, them being Lan and Moraine, it goes both ways. Like they continually treat them like they are still farm boys that they got out of the Two Rivers. And you're just like, he's declared himself the Dragon Reborn. He fought in the sky. The guy talks to wolves now. He's survived on his own with Egwene by himself for quite some time. Well, I mean, not by himself, but you know what I mean? And then like all this other stuff. And you're just like, give the guy a little credit. You've seen him fight. You've seen him do stuff. Like, he's not completely useless now, Lan in particular. It's like, anyway, all that happens later is he just gets mad at him for fighting White Clay. He's like, did you do this? God damn it. You're like, what? Anyway.
It is like Lan takes them to a town and he goes in first and then he comes back out and he's like, all right, let's go in, everybody. And while he was in there the first time, he saw like a circus of clowns in the center of the town square that they're not supposed to talk about, but he doesn't tell them about it. And then when they get to town and they look at it, they say something, he's like, don't talk about it, you idiots.
Yeah, it's like a little heads up, just like a little bit of like, hey, there's a guy in a cage. Don't freak out. Let's walk right past it. Yeah. Like a little tiny bit. You can still treat them like children. Just give them some instructions. Just be like, hey, I know you're stupid, so let's not talk about this when we get to town. There's this thing going on. Also, hey, there's white cloaks in town. Don't stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm not going to explain why there's 10,000 balloon animals in town. But also, I need you to know, don't bring it up.
Don't comment on it.
Just ignore it.
So they go in, and again, this almost sucks for Loyal. Like they get to the town, into the inn, which is a nice enough inn, right? I mean, there's some shitty people telling lies, but that's fine. They're hunters, which we'd never seen before. Like the inn's got a fucking songwood bed for the Ogier, which I always, and I'm sure I brought it up last time, like. Felt so bad for Loyal, who could not be more excited. Like, look at that. There's something tailor made for me. And Perrin's like, fantastic. Wasn't listening. Don't care. Gonna fuck it up.
The next chapter.
Well, and it is the next chapter.
It is.
The bed's in this chapter, isn't it?
Yeah, the bed's in this chapter, briefly. It is. Oh, because he goes, this is where he's,
they go upstairs to the bed this is the very last thing that happens. They're on their way upstairs and he makes eye contact with Phil.
Oh, so
I'm just saying that because one of my notes for chapter 34 is Perrin hurts Loyal's feelings. So I thought we would maybe save it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Fael.
This is the common room. Well, Fael, he only makes eye contact with her right at the end.
Well, and he says that her mouth is too generous and her labia is divided for writing.
That's true. He does say that.
I don't remember that part.
Well, it's so you can write a whores better, Tom.
What if mouth is too? Guys, when you just hear her described, like I can't tell if her nose fits her face or dominates it. So like it's just like weak. And
I think it just means like it's right on the edge of too big. Like it's not Owen Wilson, but it's like.
I love the idea.
The worst Owen Wilson.
Her mouth is too generous. Is she gross?
Yes, she's a fucking muppet.
Just Gonzo.
What we don't know, what the viewers don't know right now, is that Jono's drawing a line across his eyebrows, connecting it because he constantly thinks she has a unibrow.
I don't even remember where that came from.
Jono's insane brain? I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of Muppets have unibrows. It's normal. They don't want to,
I realized as we were going through this, I was like, this is going to be the part where everyone just makes fun of Phil the whole time. Like, I don't like Phil.
I don't dislike Fail.
She has moments where she annoys me, but in general,
she's not bad until book 6 is when she starts doing fucking. Well,
I don't know when they're in the ways in book 4.
Book 4,
I get pretty pissed off.
Yeah, let's all take a step back and realize that we get fucking annoyed as shit with her in book 4.
But then I like her again. Well, I like her again when they're in the 2 rivers.
I think she's great in book 5 when she doesn't make an appearance.
Yeah, I think.
Isn't she at the very end?
Whoa!
Nope, she's not at all in book 5.
She's in the prologue of 6. Then when he's Lord of the 2 Rivers, basically.
Yeah, that's correct.
Spoilers, did we do that? Just kidding. Just kidding. Rand dies at the end of these books, you fucking idiots.
What podcast is this?
Let's go to 34. I'm sorry I jumped the gun.
Yeah,
chapter 34?
We're there. Yeah, chapter 34.
All right, 34. They learn about Messina.
Yeah.
Perrin hurts Loyal's feelings, whatever. Moraine flashes Perrin. I'm assuming that's Lana Bush. Perrin frees Gaul and kills even more white cloaks, and then they're going on a boat.
So
I like the idea of her robe being half up or half on, and you immediately assume her just crotch is open and while she's combing her hair.
maybe that's the hair she was combing.
Like,
Hey, it's unclear. So I can choose it to be whatever I'd like it to be.
Do you think that because we know that they kind of like stripes a different color, right, to donate to kind of denote who's like a noble. Do you think that Carrians like kind of like color their bush different colors of like?
I thought you were going to say that. Do the Aes Sedai color their bush?
That works
that
too. Yeah. It's like I'm a red now.
Don't need to color that.
But I
just don't take a shower.
She's one of the blood clot shot.
You got Joe.
Jesus Christ. That went down a road I was not expecting. That's all I have to say.
Well, I don't know what you think the brown eyes should do, but I won't explain it to you.
They wipe back to front.
Wipe back to front. Only if they're from Carrion, though.
Or the yellow.
The white are just crusty down there. Like several different dudes.
Oh, God. I don't even know.
Me neither.
I don't even know where to go anywhere.
It's really only the blue that I can't explain.
I do like
the grays. The grays are old.
Mildly attempting to move back.
The grays are old. The whites are cum. The yellow are pee. The brown is poop. The red is period blood. The green is just fungus, I guess. Jesus Christ, that was never good.
Fungus.
They're using tree sung dildos, I think.
Smooth and yet does
a lot of moss on here. It's fine.
The black Aja, don't worry about that. That's necrosis.
That's bad.
It's one of the dark ones. Never mind.
Yep. That black rod.
I do like how Moraine is like immediately concerned because she's like, "Did you say someone's proclaiming themselves the Dragon Reborn?" Because as in like, in her mind there can't be any false dragons after like Rand declares himself, kind of thing. And she was like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "No, I said he was proclaiming that the Dragon Reborn was here." And she was like, "Massive fucking God damn it!"
It is a really cool kind of like homage to like all of a sudden everything she'd assumed and done could have been completely wrong. And
yes, it was like for 1 second her heartbeat was like, and she's like, "What'd you say?"
And then
I just said this, and she's like, "God damn it!" But also, I'm going to murder that man, but also never see him again. I wrote Perrin goes to his room and thinks about Zareen, and he's puzzling who she is and why she's interested in him. And then I said he puzzled and puzzled until his puzzler was sore.
Does it say that in the book?
Yeah. It does. And later on, he has the strength of 3 men when he lifts up the cage.
I don't know why this is getting me. It really worked for me.
So I do appreciate, Joe, to your point that, he sits there thinking about, why could this lady like me? Why could this lady like me? And then he goes and checks out Maureen's A-size tits and bush because he's just kind of like,
whoa. That's not very nice about Moraine's breast size. We don't know.
She's a tiny carry-handed.
She's short, Jono.
Maybe short, but voluptuous. It's impossible.
She's literally never been described that way. She's been described as petite, like every day.
Yeah.
On that note, though, Rosamund Pike is like not short or petite.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying. I mean, like
color
you just blend those in your brain.
I think she had to have breast reduction surgery to be on the show.
Blue bush. That was actually all the questions they said. Like, interesting. I see you've got a resume. What's your bush? It's blue.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's blue. You're in right away.
Old blue bush over here.
And then they were like, we have to amputate your legs from mid shin down. And she's like, well, that's fucked up.
Look at you, roller skate feet. I actually
what
did this.
What would you do if Rosamund Pike was like way shorter than normal and just kind of like rolled into the room? First episode, you'd be like, what the fuck?
They shoot her like they do Hagrid, but in verse or something like that, because it's a Harry Potter ripoff.
The producers of these shows have made so many mistakes.
So Perrin goes after checking her out. He goes down to the common room. I always love him like casting so much judgment on this fucking dude, the hunter for the horn. Just like, I got on Lion. He's like, this fucking dick. He would ride a lion. Oh, it's his horse.
His horse is named Lion. I spurred Lion forward. Oh, your horse is named Lion.
So he goes.
You actually had a lion.
Straight to the square, and he decides to show off how awesome his ropey muscles are, and moves the cage.
I mean, of course, this scene is fucking amazing and awesome, and I love it because it's Gaul, and he's freeing Gaul, and then they dance. By the way, we were recording this, or I'm listening to the 10 years ago thing, and the Charleston started playing, and I was like, what the fuck? And then it got like a little further in, and where he said something about like Gaul saying like let's dance or something like that, and Jono's made a joke about it being the Charleston, and we're like, of all songs. I was like, I guess I forgot that I used to like lace the music in like way early, and it would just build up to the point where we made the actual joke, and I was like, what the fuck is the Charleston playing for?
I just be able to just put in whatever dumb music we wanted to.
It is awesome.
Yeah, being able to play whatever dumb music we wanted to was fun.
He talks to Gaul for a long time.
Probably not smart.
It's really well. I mean, Gaul literally says like, he's like, I'm not going to help you out of there. And he's like, well, I've been in here for a day and a half. Like, give me a second. Like my muscles need to I need to stretch and, get limber,
It is incredible Gaul slaughtering these white cloaks. It's like one of the things that made him like basically Snake Eyes in my mind. But at the same time, as I read it again, I'm like, how did you get captured in the first place?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, how did he get captured in the first place?
Well, he said there was 20 on 2 pretty much, and they didn't have any preparation. They weren't ready.
Was it 2 or 3? I thought he was mentioned 2 other guys.
Gaul should not need preparation.
Which, to my question, is where's the other guy?
The other aisle?
Or am I crazy? Did he not mention 2 others?
No, it's only one other.
No, he said one other dies and he got captured, but I thought he mentioned 2 other people initially. But maybe I'm wrong. I
only remember Therian.
Probably killed them.
Yeah. I mean, look, random, even if you're a great fighter, you still randomly get picked off by an arrow. I mean, shit happens.
Not if you're Gaul, really. I mean,
well, yeah, but the other one's not
mystique, the whole mystique of Gaul.
Well, Mystique's a different one. But clearly, Gaul did not get hit by an arrow.
I mean, you don't get hit. You don't get captured if you're Snake Eyes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So I'm conflicted every time I.
Except he was literally a POW. Snake Eyes has been captured before. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll allow it.
Yeah,
I'll allow it. It doesn't change my opinion. It just makes me think about it for a second.
I just
still an 11.
Yeah, he's still awesome. That fight, I mean, it's amazing. Again, we struggle with this every time we do the rereads because we're like, we already probably talked about the fight in great detail, which we did. But it's like one of those things where it's like, How much do we want to talk about action? Like, I want
It's hard to talk about action. It's awesome, and he chops him in the throat, and then there's that one karate kick, and I'm like, I fucking love it.
I mean,
You
it
sound
is
like fucking
amazing.
Chris
Like,
Farley interviewing people on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You remember that time when?
Remember that time he's going? But
awesome.
him fighting through several white cloaks, like 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever the fuck, without even having a weapon is amazing. And even Perrin's like, holy shit. And then he's like, oh shit, I got to fight too.
I think for the most part, I don't actually believe any white cloaks are good fighters for the most part. Like some
die
are, but
quickly. Yeah. Other than like, it's either you're just fucking, cannon fodder or you're a blade master.
Yeah.
Do you believe in God? Here's a white cloak. Thank you.
Do you believe in God? I believe in God.
I believe in God.
I believe in God.
Yeah. So
what's the training? Well, like walk back and forth.
You need to walk. You need to know how to walk in a straight line. You need to know how to set up your tent perfectly. You need to know how to tuck in your bed sheets perfectly. You need to know how to keep that white cloak clean, Tom. That's a big one. You need to know laundry services.
Yeah, it's a white cloak.
Pristine at all times.
When do we learn to fight with a sword? We learn to do laundry.
Eventually.
Eventually.
So Perrin blocks a dude attacking him and then immediately cuts his fucking throat out with his axe. Like, I'm just kind of going like, holy shit, you went straight from like, oh shit, Gaul's a crazy awesome fighter, I got to defend myself, to just practically beheading somebody. No. And then he goes on to fight several others, and then like, what, we don't know how many that is technically. But then immediately after that, the fight's over, and he's like, Gaul took out a lot of those guys, but not nearly as many as I would have wished him to have taken out. As in, like, I killed many of these people.
I assume something
and
like 4 days.
Immediately feel bad. Here's the key. He later on in a million books goes on trial for killing 2 white cloaks when he was with Egwene, and I'm like, what about all these dudes? Like, he's murdered a lot more.
He didn't murder them. This was an open fight. The other one was murder.
What? They were both open fights.
Shut up. Technically,
the difference is in this one, he's defending a criminal, and then the other one, he's defending a wolf.
Which is a criminal.
Or avenging a wolf.
You killed my dog!
Which is insane. He's like, listen, I know this sounds insane. I know this is a trial for humans, put on by humans, but that wolf was my friend. And that's his defense, and you're like, what the fuck?
You need a better attorney, my friend.
The only thing I can think of is that no one, literally no one knows that he was in this fight. But then the whole reason he stays for the trial is because he feels obligated, like honor bound, to be like, I should answer for these dead people but he never mentions the 7 other dead people from the
It's very possible that like that Robert Jordan and Sanderson totally forgot that like in 2 or 3 chapters in a row, Matt killed a bunch of people, as did Perrin, and just kind of said, first kill, we're probably back in, right?
Yeah, it's totally fun.
It would have been incredible if at the end of this chapter, like, Byro just happened to be watching from a mountain. I gotta go tell everybody.
You just go. And then
he's done it again. I hate this
golden eyes.
Or if Fail had testified against
son of a bitch.
My goddamn nemesis.
Fail testifies against him at the White Cloak trial way later. Just like, actually, not true. He butchered 4 or 5.
He at least killed 4 or 5 others, and probably more since then. I wasn't around him all the time.
Aaron loves killing white cloaks. He doesn't even realize how much. Like, he loves
joked about that 10 years ago, and Jono was like, how often the white cloaks are just always around him? And I was like, what if he just walks out of a bathroom, there's 7 white cloaks, he just immediately gets in a fight, starts murdering people. It's like every time he turns around, he's murdering white cloaks.
Damn it, I hate the color white.
It's the sound of Monty Python when Lancelot just starts murdering people when he's in the castle. Just like as soon as he hears the music, just starts butchering people. That's just,
all right. I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch Monty Python and the Holy Grail, because you bring it up so frequently lately that I'm like, I got nothing. I want to contribute to this conversation. But I just think it's going to go away. But then it's the next episode. It's more Monty Python. I clearly got to watch
the movie. None of these references are true. I'm just making
Life
up.
of Brian? It's fantastic.
It's just keep making up. You know that scene of Monty Python? Not actually giving you which movie Monty Python.
John just says Monty Python names a character from King Arthur and then applies a joke to it.
Just starts rambling.
Joe's just like, God, I need to see that.
You remember that time in Monty Python when Hermione murdered all those house elves?
For that part in Monty Python when Guinevere tried to jam a dick into my nose.
Jam. Do you know the difference between jam and marmalade?
Marmalade.
Can't marmalade my dick down your throat.
It's jelly. It's jelly and jam.
It doesn't matter. It's all that matters is jam.
No, marmalade is way funnier. What
do you know the difference between strawberry preserves and jam? Can't strawberry preserves my dick down your throat.
No, you really should, Tom. You really should have changed it completely and just said, "I can't peanut butter my dick."
But you can, especially with a dog.
That's a better joke. Just say something different that means jam or jelly, and then it completely changes the last part. I can't pickle my dick down your throat.
You know the difference between spaghetti and meatballs and jam?
What is it?
I can't spaghetti and meatballs my dick down your throat.
I had to clean my voice up so much that
Wait, what is it? What's the difference?
I believe in God.
Anyway, Fail's watching from afar, and then Land comes on and is like, "What the fuck, man?"
What the fuck goes through Land's mind when he walks in and just sees a dozen corpses and an Aiel sitting there, just like, "Oh, you stupid dick." Well,
you know, an interesting point here actually is that Perrin is the one who's like, "Oh, I know who you're talking about. He who comes with the dawn. He's going to be in Tyr. Go there."
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Important plot point that we just missed.
Well, I mean, like,
real quick. Do you think he's more confused that he's the only one that heard this, or that a battle in the middle of the town square where 12 people died
yes,
was heard by no one else? Like, unless every shot was a kill shot. So
Lan even interrogates Perrin for like a second, and he's like, "Who else knows?" And he's like, I think that girl knows from the end." And then he goes, and he's like, "But literally anyone could have seen. There's plenty of windows
or
around."
Heard? Was every shot a kill shot? There's not one guy on the ground screaming in pain.
Yeah.
No, they're all gray men. That's what we find out later on.
I mean, Perrin did start by cutting that guy's throat out, so maybe he just continued that way. He is a wolf. They do go to the throat.
Wait, to see MacGruber?
Yeah.
Tears it all out.
MacGruber's the whole battle, so no one makes sound.
Dane Bornhold's on the other side of the mountain going like 3x9.
It's ludicrous.
Perrin Goldeneye.
Fail's got a carrot up her ass.
That's fucking P, Ryan.
All I could picture was a drawing of Dane Bornhold like up in the air with like little shits just raining down on there. It's so fucking funny.
Fucking, I don't know. I love Jono's note of Fail jumping around with a dick with a carrot in her ass. Yes, that's what we don't know what she was doing.
Anyway, go watch MacGruber, everybody.
Chapter 35, The Falcon.
Chapter 35, The Falcon and the Wolf Boy Soldier. Wait, what?
All right, get ready for my notes.
The title's way longer than that, Jono. It's The Falcon and the Wolf Boy Soldier.
Oh.
That's just
weird.
The Falcon.
I wrote they're on a boat. We meet Phil. That's it. Those are my notes.
They're on a boat, bitch. T-Pain's not there, though.
I actually almost wrote take a picture trick. They're on a boat, bitch. We meet Phil because she's so crisp. I don't know. I'm doing lyrics. So.
I always wonder what this looks like for like the poor, weird. Not poor. They deserve kind of half what comes to them because they torture Isleman. What this looks like, though, where like a lady and like a small retinue comes in, rents a room, and then all of a sudden runs out the back door, and there's a dozen bodies in the fucking center. Like,
let's talk about the fallout from the town for 5 minutes.
Yeah. What the fuck happened?
Just like, what's so funny? Because like there's a distinct scene where like Perrin goes down to the stables and he's like, hey, like I need these 4 horses, and he's like, who the fuck are you? Because the stable guy is like,
yeah, stable guy doesn't
like,
recognize him.
What are you, your servant? Their servant or something? Like, well, I'm taking orders from a servant. And I'm just like, well, who else would a lord send down or a lady send down to get her horses? There is a weird kind of like, why should I listen to you? Yeah, but also at the same time, it's just funny the idea of them leaving in the middle of the night, and then that sableman's like, oh shit.
Yeah, who the fuck are you?
I wonder why they left in the middle of the night. Probably because
there's a dozen fucking bodies.
Yeah, maybe they're mildly responsible for 12 dead people. And a criminal that was freed.
Did you get a look at their faces? Well, there's a lady whose face I never saw. There is a 10-foot ogier. So that one's pretty obvious. A guy with golden eyes, a man who looks like stone. It's like, oh yeah. So we that's going to be a very interesting, almost Marvel-esque kind of just combination of people on a wanted poster.
Yeah, it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Pretty much.
All they need is a talking raccoon. They'd be like, okay, this is
technically that's.
Oh man, if an ogier, the ogier is so close to being Groot, it's not even funny. I think we're onto something here.
James Gunn is somehow in charge of this first step.
So Lan is Star-Lord, obviously.
No, that makes Aaron Drax. It's perfect. He's so slow.
Nothing goes over my head. I would catch it immediately.
It's actually really perfect. We're missing well, I guess Fail's Rocket Raccoon. Let's go, Guardians.
I guess. No, Hopper is Rocket Raccoon. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. All right, so Groot is loyal. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. There, we needed something.
So we're gonna break this movie up in a little bit for other Guardians.
Amazing. The Guardians of the Galaxy head down their way to Ilion.
We're so intrigued by Fail's. So go ahead, John.
Mentions his book.
Wait, what
is it?
Is this? I can't remember. Is this the first time Loyal mentioned that he's actually working on a book?
Doesn't he do that right at the beginning of The Great Hunt? Or no?
I don't think he does. I think all he's said so far is that he wants to be near Rand because it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if he's right. You may be right, Tom. I'm like writing a book per se.
Yeah. But now he's really kind of like trying to picture the imagery, even though he's scaring his dick off. How I feel.
There's enemies ahead of us. There's enemies behind us. Like blah blah blah. And like Perrin's like, what are you doing, man? Calm down. And he's like, I think I like adventure. I'm just trying to set the scene in my mind.
He's got a line of cocaine in front of him. Like adventures. I don't know if that's
like Ronan the Destroyer is coming my way.
So as you mentioned, they get to this exciting ship, Goose, and Fail jumps on because no one's
how many feet of icy water was between her and the boat? Less or more than Matt?
I mean, it seemed like it was described as some kind of an impressive leap, but at the same time, like she made it easily. So.
Less or more than Tom, then?
Less. Again, Tom's was the most impressive because he was behind Matt.
Well, probably more because Tom is lame.
How dare you?
I mean, he is.
He's extremely lame. There's nominally knees barely made it.
I was going to say, I just really gave you an unfortunate soundbite.
Tom is lame.
Tom is lame. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You did it yourself.
It's okay. I control the sound bites.
Shit.
Well, I'm just going to erase mine, Tom. Or you'll just hear an Austin Powers phone call sound. Like when he jumps from the boat, from the dock to the boat, but he barely hits the side. But theoretically, it's further away. Does that make Tom more of a badass?
Yes.
Also, was he jumping off his good leg or his bad leg? Because if it's his bad leg, that's amazing.
I hope the good leg, as a guy who's got both a good leg and a bad leg.
Because how much further behind Matt was he? I know I'm 5 chapters behind, but I'm just comparing this jump to Fael right now, and that's the real key. So Fael's jump on board, not impressive. That's my point.
No.
Are we sure that Fael can't fly?
We're not. No.
Are we positive? Yeah, we're not.
We're not.
We
sure.
are positive. Because if anyone's going to have special powers for flying, it's not this bitch.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You don't think those eyebrows can spread like wings and carry her onto a boat?
Her labia do. They're divided for riding, but not the eyebrows.
She's like a flying squirrel boat with labia.
It's a good thing Loyal didn't have to jump on the boat because he would have just soared right past it. Ah, shit, I overshot it. He flies into the river. Holy fuck. Did you see that guy fly through the air? That's just the O-gears. Whenever an O-gear jumps, their eyebrows just take over the aerodynamics.
Looks like giant catapult.
Them past whatever they're jumping towards.
I'd like to call out something that Perrin was really very avant-garde about. When she describes herself as a hunter for the horn. His response was, "You're a girl."
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's top-notch work. It's a good thing he can see is actually sharp.
And not only, and 2 seconds later, Fael says something along the lines of like, well, yeah, it was so crowded and crazy that basically anybody, a 6-year-old could have sworn the O's or whatever. And I'm like, oh, so you're making it an age thing, but he was making it a sex thing. So that's interesting. Yeah. Turnaround.
I don't think she's making it an age thing. I think she's just being like, yeah, a woman could do it because even a baby could do it.
Because she's putting down women.
So she's belittling women.
I mean, no.
Tom just explained my point.
Apparently, you can't swear for horn if you're a girl.
Which is funny because, like, who is one of the most famous heroes of all time? Forget. Who?
Hero of the horn.
Well, she's a hunt for the horn. She's already got it.
Yeah, she doesn't actually.
Yeah, she's already part of it.
It is, but isn't it? It is a
she's
little weird.
She's inside of it.
That the hunt is like sexist in that way, though, don't you think?
But is
like they have legendary like women?
I think that's
their history.
I think that's just a parent thing. I don't think it's like sexist because we see female hunters for the horn later, I believe, or huntresses. I want to say
everyone is shocked to death at the maidens fight. That's
a fair point.
Well, maybe it's because they're clearly not maidens, considering how much blood.
And their culture is like very alien to everyone in the wetlands.
Tom liked that one.
I wish you wouldn't have said wetlands right when I started talking about this joke. It's a little too perfect.
I mean, it's not that weird that the Falcon is going to become Captain America. She clearly is a hero for the horn.
It does make sense. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's normal.
I did always find this like an interesting kind of like, what would they have found? Because like the dickbag hunters earlier wanted to look in the Forest of Shadows, which is, between Gildan and the Two Rivers, which I'm sure actually has some very old kind of like cool looking like ruins and shit like that.
I thought you were going to say musical instruments.
It's all not at all useful. And then, she wanted to go look in the Mountains of Mist, which again, not the dumbest places to look. No. Of course, answer was the Blight, which
they were getting awfully close to the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, on that note, I actually like we tend to overlook Fael's involvement with getting the horn back to the side of the light in the last battle. It's kind of a cool thing that kind of comes full circle for her.
Actually, yes, it is. But
it's not something we talked about last time because we didn't know. The last book wasn't out, but like knowing what we know in the last book, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that it comes around. Because I have to say, like, by the time Fael gets there, I've completely forgotten that she was once hunting the horn. Like it doesn't like
it doesn't resonate.
That connection doesn't resonate. Yeah. Like it doesn't, it's so far removed from like this moment that like you don't really think about it. But now that we're on a reread, it's kind of cool that like she immediately, like her immediate introduction as a character is one hunting the horn, and at the end she actually is very integral in getting the fucking horn out of the blight and back towards like the heroes. It's kind of
follow the story till the end.
What an interesting
360 life. Finds a way. It was gold blooming. Life finds a way back. Yeah. The horn finds a way. Anyway, so obviously, one of the most important things is she names herself Blade after a large black horse.
Yeah. That hunts vampires specifically is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh, the Daywalker?
He hunts sparkling vampire Drakars. During the day.
Perrin's just like, because Perrin is distinctly amused like once a book at best. And then he just chortles his dick off for a moment. Like, that's Mandarb, you stupid bitch. To which she goes,
you named yourself after a horse?
Because she was supposed to know that,
I don't know the horse.
We're not best friends.
Yeah, it's not that weird that somebody else on the other side of the planet named their whores after the same thing that I called myself.
I guess if you are trying to come up with a cool hunter name, what are the odds that somebody hasn't named their horse or boat that at some point?
Probably slim to none, I would say. I bet every single hunter of the horn is named after a horse or a boat.
I wish there was some part in like between books where like where Land's like, what's your name of your horse? Mandarb. And he's like, Mandarb? This is Mandarb. This guy's goat. And he's just like, fuck.
What would your hunter name be, Jono?
Hunter.
Joe. Hunter's pretty good.
Cunter. How am I supposed to follow Cunter?
Technically, like the ass kind of does.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be the old tongue for the taint.
Mine would just be found it. Stop trying, all one word.
He's just going Oliver. Like, that's not even a good name. It's not even relevant. Just a kid.
Doesn't matter. None of it matters. Apparently the horn's already been found, guys. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I mean, she still, but then it gets lost again, and then she finds it. She did find the horn. She hunted the horn.
Holy shit, she did.
She hunted the horn.
She hunted it down. She great hunted that down in the Great Blight, I think.
Great hunt.
Wait a minute. If the first book or the second book is the Great Hunt, and then they lose the horn and it goes back into the blight, she has to do this crazy mission. Like it was its own book. Do we just call it like the not so great hunt?
Yeah.
I think
the second best hunt.
Great recon.
It's It's the hunt that was kind of okay.
You tried and found it. Not bad. That's it. That's the title of the book.
You hunted and found it. Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't first.
You weren't the first.
You're not first, you're last. But I mean, congratulations! Congratulations, eyebrows.
It's not so great. Not so great hunt that I think is the best.
So that's tWoTcast this week.
Sure.
Anything else? Yeah. If you have any comments or questions, the best way to find us is on Twitter at tWoTcast. The second best way to find us on Twitter is at Contest, which is the name of my new.
That's really not true.
Don't look that one up.
Just listen wherever you get your podcasts. You can email us at tWoTcast@gmail.com.
tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by Taffy, Bennington at Sing with Taffy on Twitter and Anarchy 101 on YouTube, and also everyone's favorite musician on #Twitter of Time, Androl. And that's at Androl Genhold on Twitter and Androl Bard of Time on YouTube. And they have a very large list of songs to listen to.
Script. We're on Patreon. It's patreon.com/tWoTcast with an O. We want your money. Or we could use some of it just to pay for this shit.
What we need your money for specifically is to have the rights to play the Charleston every time they're dancing the Spheres.
And Sandstorm. That's critical. And that's expensive. I mean, they play that at football stadiums. Like, they don't just give the rights away.
Thank you to us. We should probably edit that because Lord knows that we are the dumbest Ron Burgundies around and we just read it. Join us next week for the Wheel of Time.
You read it.
We are apart. We're together. Book 3, The Dragon Reborn.
One of us does, we all do.
God damn it. Say join us.
Join us next week for the Wheel of Time, Book 3, The Dragon Reborn, Part 9. We'll be covering chapters 36 through 39. I'm Jono. You listen to Joe.
Keep the change of filthy animals.
And Tom.
Spell your mouth.
And we're done.
We did it.
We are done. We did it. We did do it.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.